Welcome back to another episode of the Ben and Bergs podcast. I'm Ben, your favorite high school dropout and founder of Collective Shift. Alongside me is Bergs, your favorite MBA and COO of Collective Shift. We're here to bring you world-class crypto research, strategies, and insights to help you crush this crypto bull market, plus get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look as we scale Australia's leading crypto research company. And if you're listening to this podcast, we'd love for you to leave us a follow or share it with your friends and colleagues. It's how we grow the podcast each and every week. Today, I've made some changes to my portfolio, and I want to share that with you and those insights as to what's going on with the market, what's changed in terms of my strategy, and how I'm thinking about investing this way around. Because the reality is, Bergs, this market is feeling different to previous cycles. I think we all came into 2025 hoping that'd be a lot happen in the market, and we had Trump at the helm and we had all these exciting things, but then the reality is it's sort of been pushed back. There's been announcements of announcements. The macro conditions aren't great, and altcoins have sort of had a decent sort of correction, although Bitcoin is still up 130% over the last 12 months, and there's a lot of tailwinds still to come. But yet sentiment is really, really poor on Twitter and things like that. So we're going to sort of walk you through what's going on, give you a bit of an update and talk through it. But yeah, a little bit different this cycle, Bergs.
Yeah, it's a difficult period in time where everyone expects up only, this huge explosion, insane price action, and it's a bit boring. The market's just waiting. We've heard from, Trump. There's a few indications around interest rate drops or rises, and the market is waiting for that information before it moves. We had the tariff wars a week or two ago, and just those little announcements, people get scared. They pull their liquidity out of the market. There's a lot of big players still continually buying Bitcoin, which is great to see. But we're in that, look, market conditions have changed. And I think that's the whole purpose of this episode, right? It's not to not ignore the market and to not ignore where things are at. And this is why we say that bull markets are a lot harder than bear markets, because Trump was in, everything's going great, and now all of a sudden you're down 30% plus. You're like, hang on a minute, this is supposed to be a bull market. What's going on here?
Yeah, there's been like a bit of mania really as well in the market since the launch of Pump.Fund. So just to give a bit of context. So, I think in previous cycles, you could have used the term like the rising tide lifts all boats. But I think what we're seeing now this cycle is the rising tide has lifted some boats and then sunken the rest. So like it's not as easy this cycle as just picking something and just hoping for the best. Like Bitcoin is not lifting all boats this cycle. What we've seen really over the last 6 months is like this huge, probably 12 months, this huge increase of meme coins, primarily from Pump.Fund. And since the launch, the total value of like Solana has diverged from the top 125 altcoins. Like Solana, TVL has really like exploded off the back of Pump.Fund. And Pump.Fund's based on Solana. A lot of these coins, built on Solana. By the end of January this year, over 400,000 new tokens were launched every week. 400,000 tokens a week, which is nuts. That's about a 5,000% increase in total coins from the market in 2021, right? Which is we're probably likely underestimating that. So compared to 2017 as well, there were only hundreds of new tokens a day. So we've literally gone from hundreds a day to tens of thousands a day of new coins, right? This is the divergence that we're seeing. And that is really why we're seeing complete and utter uncertainty. A lot of coins performing well, a lot of coins not performing well. And then we're also seeing things like President Trump launching Trump and Melania coin, or, Dave Portnoy from Barstool promoting his Jailstool coin. Or then we saw the Argentinian president launching his coin. And then we saw the president of the Central African Republic launching his meme coin. Like, it is nuts what's going on right now.
I was watching Dave Portnoy live on Twitter, and he was just like getting stuck into crypto bros. He was basically admitting market manipulation, selling a security, and it's just, bro, just stop incriminating yourself. Talking about how much money he made. He's literally live trading as well. There was a few 100,000 people watching. It was just utter craziness. And what we're talking about here is crypto found another use case for the majority of people that want to get into the market. In 2017, it was ICOs. What are ICOs? I can be my own venture capitalist. I can make a lot of money. Then it was NFTs. I can join a community. I can make a lot of money. It's art. It's amazing. And now it was, hey, I can create these tokens. I can trade them. I can get in before everyone else and I can make a lot of money. And these stories and narratives really spark up and you see these violent moves upwards. Then there was a lot of challenges with Pump.Fun with some of the things people were posting. A lot of people lost a lot of money and Trump got in. Everyone was quite positive. And now we're seeing that kind of sideways to slightly down consolidation period. And we need to take note of that. And when market conditions change, you need to ask yourself, should I be changing with them?
Yeah, that's a great point, Bergs. And that really has been the shift in my investment strategy, understanding that, this space is moving faster than ever. There hasn't been an altcoin season like this one, and maybe there won't be an altcoin season. I don't know. But the idea that the tide lifts all boats is not looking likely this time around. So with that information, I sort of went back to my investment strategy. Just to be clear, I do think there'll be an altcoin season, but it just may not be the same as previous seasons. Just to be clear on what I meant.
And we did have the mini altcoin season, but even with there, a lot of altcoins didn't reach previous all-time highs.
Exactly. So my outlook hasn't changed, and my portfolio is up about 60% over the last 12 months, which I'm pretty happy with, and it's been solid. And did I pick the top?
It's so funny, bro. Hey, it's 60%. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty happy with it. Where else in the world can you get a 60% return in 12 months?
No,
nowhere.
You can't. And also, I made some, not errors. I've actually invested really well this cycle, but I wasn't able to get out on the meme coin cycle as well as I could have. I got in on Pepe, Popcat, and Whiff that did extremely well for the first 3 months, and then sort of everything tanked as Trump sort of pushed back everything. And I was a bit slow to act on that. But the other investments around Solana, Sui, BTC have been great. I've been very strong on not going too hard on lower cap alts. My portfolio allocation really, I think, is a key metric of success. And a lot of people don't have a good portfolio allocation. They over allocate on an alt. They have 28, 30% on an altcoin that's underperformed, and now your whole portfolio is underperformed, right? So having 50% BTC minimum, which I've had, is really imperative, which is up 130%. If you haven't got Bitcoin in your portfolio, or if you haven't got a large allocation of Bitcoin, you're probably on struggle street right now.
Exactly right. And you're never going to get a perfect entry or a perfect exit. And the way you mitigate that is by having appropriate allocation. So it does give you additional time, and it's not going to hurt you too badly if you miss things.
Yeah, exactly right. You need to sort of have that allocation to, have some sort of, mitigate your risk. But, I think what's driving the market to be so bleak for altcoins right now is that Jerome Powell's made it very clear there's no quantitative easing anytime soon. It's so funny. Craig from, I don't even know who he works for. I won't name because I don't know who he works for, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Up in my comments talking about QE is coming. It is not coming. Jerome Powell has made it very, very, very clear that QE will not happen unless rates are at zero or we're in an emergency economic condition. And we are nowhere near that.
Bro, he's so funny. So he came up to me at OzCryptoCon and he said he was so deep in ETH that all he can do is buy more ETH.
And it's been down only.
Bro.
And I think that and not just as that's just not just him right now. There is a palpable amount of copium going around trying to come up with reasons why people aren't right. Why people aren't wrong. And that's the downfall to poor investing. You need to update your mindset and strategy based on data. You can't bury your head in the sand.
People guess, markets decide, and you're in the middle of the ocean. And you can swim as hard as you want against the tide. You're going to get tired out.
Yeah.
The market can be irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So it's best just to go with the tide. And Ben, you said you posted a video recently. I think it was on Instagram, and the comments and the amount of cope were just crazy.
Yeah. So I posted a reel on Instagram talking about how the market's changed. And, it's very clear I'm still bullish on the market and altcoins, but my timeline's been pushed back. And if you look at the top 150 coins versus the lower cap assets on TradingView. I can't remember the exact TradingView. It's like others over others minus total 2 or something. I'll double check. But basically, this chart is showcasing you the liquidity being sucked out of low cap coins, being pushed up into top 100, 150 coins based on the macro conditions. So that plus a bunch of other data was telling me that, okay, well, right now is not the right time to be in high risk holds. So I'm going to rotate out. And the comments and DMs that come in, you've no idea what you're talking about. You are the bottom signal. You're capitulating. You're blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I'm looking at the market. I've updated my thesis to say that these shit coins are going to continue to be shit coins for a little while. Macro wise, we're not getting any better. There's no QE coming to save us. There are liquidity things that can enter the market, but that's not favorable for altcoins right now. And the Trump presidency is bullish on crypto, but they've pushed back their timelines until middle of this year before we even get an announcement. So why the hell would I be holding this shit right now? And over the last week, that's already played out correct. But at the time, people are like, fuck you, you're wrong. My bags are down 60%. You're selling, I'm right. And it's just not right.
And it comes back to strong opinions loosely held, where you've got very strong opinions about your portfolio, how you think things are going to play out. But when you start seeing all of these signals and indicators that we have, as well as general sentiment, you're like, hang on, what I thought is happening is not playing out.
Yep.
Should I update my strategy here?
Yep.
And you came to the conclusion that, yes, I need to update my strategy because things are going to be delayed. You can see that in the market. You can see it in the price action. I'm going to reallocate part of my portfolio so I can take advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Bang on. And sometimes you've just got to make the call. Like if you can't, again, bury your head in the sand and hope for the best. Like that's not a strategy. And essentially what
hope is not a strategy.
I say that a lot because I think a lot of people just hope it's going to get better. But back to what we've been saying at the start of the episode, guys, 400,000 new tokens a week, right? Compared to 2017 where there was hundreds. Like it's like worlds apart, right, of where we're at. So, for me, I'm doubling down on, the top dogs, sort of BTC, ETH, Sol, Sui. I've got some other Solana plays. I've got a little bit of gaming, a little bit of AI, a little bit of DeFi, and I'm adding another next gen layer one. But I've cut majority, and I've still got some a meme play, but I've cut down the rest of my memes, cut down some gaming, cut down some DeFi. Really just solidified my portfolio into the assets I have the most conviction in, and that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm very happy with those moves.
This is really what separates good from great investors, where if you have strong conviction and a thesis, new information comes in and you're willing to go against it. And I think our long-term outlook hasn't changed. I still think we had some excitement last year and early this year. I think what's going to happen this year is going to eclipse that. I still think we're going to have an altcoin season and it is going to melt faces, but that has just been delayed. And we forget that we look at price and what's happening and think, oh, it's all over. But the reality is it's not over. It's just been delayed. Yes. Trump has made some quite positive moves. He and his companies are accumulating ETH and everything in the background. And he said, go away, make it in 90 days, come back with a plan and I'll approve it, which is what you do in any business. 9 days is actually quite quick for government. And as soon as we get updates from those working groups and a resolution, I think that is going to be very positive and that will spark an insane bull run.
Yeah, I agree, Bergs. And that's what I've sort of, listed here. And this was an update I made. I made these changes a week ago to members that I'm still bullish on these sectors. I'm still bullish on the market, but my timelines have been pushed back. And that's why I believe the market sold off, because the market thought we'd be like, some people are calling like a left translated cycle ending before Christmas, right? It's wild, how quickly things change. But I've still got a good chunk of altcoins. Like, don't get me wrong. And I think this is where some people are like, oh, you're capitulating. It's like, no, I'm just reallocating into assets that I have higher conviction and I think have stronger strength. So that's all I'm doing.
And things aren't over. This is another opportunity, a gift from the gods to accumulate against your strategy. Yeah. Like, we're so lucky that we get so many opportunities to accumulate and do well.
Yeah.
Like, even if you accumulate, let's just take Bitcoin, for example. Like, there's mate, an insane chance. I would even say like 99% chance if you bought in Bitcoin today that you're going to be significantly better off by the end of the year and probably beat every other market out there.
It's up 130% in the last 12 months. Like you look at zoom out on the Bitcoin chart and you're like, oh, this is a nice looking chart.
Look at the monthly chart and the noise goes away.
That's wild. So I think just to recap, sit back, don't stress, look long term, readjust your strategy, cut the crap, and simplify. That was my first post I did this year. The theme for this year was going to be simplify. That's exactly what's playing out. So don't chase shit. Don't chase all the craziness in the meme coin space. Just sit back. The macro conditions are not favorable right now, but there are a bunch of tailwinds that are coming, and you don't need to like do crazy shit to try and make a bunch of money because you end up losing it.
Exactly right. Keep it simple, sleep well at night, and profit.
Love it. Let's end there. Thank you so much, folks, for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to share it with that friend or family member that's barreling into memes and losing a bunch of money. Let's send them this, get them dialed in, get their strategy right. And if you need help with your strategy, or if you've got a large portfolio, we do have a couple of spots open in February for our platinum service. It is by application, so you can just jump on a call, see if it's a good fit. Because we've got, so some awesome events coming up. We'd love to speak to you and join the 100 wells we're working with our platinum group, which is super exciting.
It's a lot of fun.
Awesome, guys. See you in the next episode.
Thanks, champions.